So be honest, because, it's the internet where truth abounds. Are you plagued every day with relentless dread? Are you consumed with anxiety, fear, just thoughts about the future, ruminating about the past? Do you worry about everything? Do you literally worry about how much you're worrying? Do you want to be more mindful? Practice mindfulness. But let's be honest, what does any of that even mean? What is mindfulness? How can we escape the hamster wheel of dread and doom? How do we get out of it? Never fear, my dear, sweaty palmed, anxiety-ridden little worrywarts. We have got the definitive take on The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This book has been a banger for many years. It was published in 1999, and it sold over 16 million copies worldwide, translated into 30 foreign languages. Oprah is loving this book. She is loving Eckhart Tolle. Oh my gosh. Where does he get his teachings? Well, he borrows heavily from Christianity, Buddhism, other Eastern philosophies. And fun fact, he is allegedly a human being, but when he talks in robot AI voice. So it's a little bit discombobulating. Let's roll the tape.
Many people spend their lives in a state of almost permanent dissatisfaction.
As you can see, he sounds a little bit like this. Don't know what this is. This is me pushing a button.
Better, happier, more productive, comfortable.
On this episode of Bookwise, I'm going to answer these 3 questions. And they're pretty big. How can you try and lead a pain-free identity and remain in the present? Number 2, what's the deal with all these incessant bad thoughts? Why are we just staying up at night with chasing these terrible, awful thoughts? What's the deal? Number 3, why is the present moment the most important thing that we have? And what is the moment, the present moment, the now? What does that say about our past and our future? So we're getting all philosophical, all kinds of mindfulness up in Bookwise today. So stay with me as a small, unique-looking German man takes us through The Power of Now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment. Welcome to Bookwise from bookbub.com. I am your host and mindfulness non-expert, but expert in reading, Britt Brewer, AKA Dr. Books, a non-licensed medical professional, but an avid reader and non-going outer. Okay, so part 1. And I'm not going to exactly answer how to live a pain-free identity and remain in the present, but I'm just going to say what Eckhart Tolle has to say about pain. So he argues that a lot of people's constant feelings of anxiety, dread, emotional pain that has a grip on the psyche, it's because, listen, if somebody calls you and says someone that you love has passed, that is pain in the now, right? And that is inescapable, and all humans will suffer. But Tolle argues that a lot of human psychological, emotional pain is unnecessary. And why? Because we are ruminating in the past. We are letting our mind trigger and re-trigger this pain body that lives inside of us. So when we're like, oh my God, what if in the future I get broken up with, and that's going to remind me of the time that I got broken up with in the past. And then you're gripped by both the past pain that you felt and this fear that you're going to have to feel that pain again for something that hasn't even happened. And he argues that instead of ruminating in sort of the past, which you can't control, and the future, which you can't control, if you're actually in the present and experiencing life as it happens to you, taking every day as it is, being like, you know what, today is today and I can't control it, and I could get hit by a bus or I could get broken up with, but I will feel that pain when I get to it. And I'm not going to be like sitting in this pain body, which is just like old pain mixed with like projected future pain. So I think that that's what he's saying. So that's the pain body. The pain body is just the gooky gook of past pain and projected future pain that gets triggered and rehashed by you. So how do you avoid it? Well, he has some suggestions. He says that you need to become an objective observer of the pain body, and this enables you to feel the power of now. How do you stay in the present? And you can also disconnect from fear much the same way by becoming a silent watcher. You can start to shine a light on the patterns. You can start to be like, oh, I'm doing it again. I'm having these incessant thoughts about the death and destruction of the universe, which I cannot control. But you can you can shine a light on these patterns and you can witness it. And this is important. You can witness it without engaging in it. And the more you do this, the more you become an objective observer, the more your fear starts to naturally dissolve. Okay, what's next? Part 2. Part 2. What is the deal? What is the deal with all of these incessant bad thoughts? Why are we staying up and just doom scrolling through our mind? What Tolle says is that thinking is not the equivalent to being. I'm going to say that again because it took me a minute. Thinking is not the equivalent to being. So this is why surfers are so chill. It's because like they're in the present. They're like looking for that like gnarly tubular wave that they can then surf. And that's why they're so chill and cool and like not worried about stuff.
Dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah!
So what is it like to be in the present? Well, Tolle says that when you are in the present, when your attention is fully and intensely in the now, that the beingness, it can be felt, but it can never be understood mentally. It is a feeling. It is a oneness. Okay. So get your brain out of it because your brain's not going to be able to understand it. This is a full body experience. And that means you're still alive. You're breathing, you're feeling, your senses are engaged, but you're not on the loop of the mind. You're not thinking about the past. You're not thinking about the future. There's no dread. There's no worry. All you are doing is simply being, and you've hit pause on your thoughts. And I know that sounds really goofy and hard and weird, but like, who wouldn't want to break from all of these thoughts? Who wouldn't want to just be like, you know what? You've been really annoying and you need to like, just take 5. Just, get comfortable telling your thoughts to take a walk. So we're now at our third and final section. And that is, why is the present moment the most important thing that we have? And what does that say about our past and our future? So the past, Eckhart Tolle describes as, this is the former now. This is a memory that is trapped in your brain. And the future is the imagined now. This is an illusion of what has not yet occurred. And he also has another phrase, the egoic mind, the mind that is just like all ego. This stays trapped in time. This is living in thoughts that dwell in the past and that dwell in the future. But the present moment, the now, this should actually be your main concern. So the now is the gateway to the state of being that is unfettered by the mind, meaning being in the present. This is your gateway to being in that blissful state of being where your mind and its funky ass toxic thoughts are nowhere to be found. That is where you're just like, here I am. Here I am. We're going to take it out with Eckhart Tolle doing a little bit of stand-up comedy. Not really, but here's Eckhart being a little loose, being a little light, giving us some levity.
And all you look at is the deepest manifestations of unconsciousness. That should be the name for the news. So you have the 6 o'clock deepest manifestations of unconsciousness.
And that's what I got. Thank you. This has been another episode of Bookwise, a podcast from bookclub.com. And remember, try to be in the power of now. I'll be with you.